You ever notice how some people spend their whole life trying to hide the very thing that makes them unforgettable? How a single mark, a single detail, can shape the way they walk, breathe, speak, like they're carrying a weight no one can see but them. This story starts with a girl who mastered the art of disappearing, folding into corners like she was made of shadow, until the most unexpected person, a billionaire she'd never even met, stepped into her world and lit it up like sunrise. And yeah, everything changed after that. So let me take you right into it. Her name was Amara, 16, brilliant, quiet, and moving through life like she was trying not to take up space. She wasn't shy by nature. She was trained by circumstance. Trained by the whispers that followed her in hallways. Trained by the looks kids gave her when they thought she wasn't paying attention. Trained by the questions people asked her mom at grocery stores. Because Amara had a birthmark stretching across the left side of her face, soft reddish tones, shaped like clouds settling on her skin. It didn't hurt. It wasn't dangerous. But it was obvious. And in a world obsessed with blending in, being obvious felt like punishment. Kids started pointing at her in kindergarten. By fourth grade, the joke started. By middle school, she perfected the hair curtain, pulling curls over the side of her face. And by high school, she didn't just hide her birthmark, she hid herself. She avoided mirrors, avoided school events, avoided raising her hand. She learned to exist like silence in a crowded room. Her mother tried to lift her spirit. Baby, you're not meant to blend in. God signed his name on your face. But no teenager wants poetry when all they feel is pain. And that's why, on the day everything changed, Amara took her usual seat in the back row. Her school was hosting Career Inspiration Day, a parade of business owners, creatives, city workers, normal people with normal stories. She expected nothing. She planned to keep her head down, let her hair fall over her cheek, and survive the day without drawing attention. But then the final speaker walked out, and the whole auditorium shifted. Elias King, billionaire, innovator, philanthropist, a man whose company changed technology, whose foundation rebuilt communities, whose face lived on magazine covers and morning news shows. He stepped on stage looking nothing like the untouchable icon people imagined. Just jeans, a dark blazer, and a calm confidence that made the room lean in without him saying a word. He started talking about failure, the kind that cracks your pride open, the kind nobody posts on Instagram. He talked about being broke, getting laughed at, getting rejected. Students started hanging on to every sentence like he was handing out secrets to life. But Amara barely heard him. She was trying to hide, to fold back into herself. But life doesn't let you stay hidden when it's time for your story to start. Elias's eyes drifted across the room, sweeping slowly, then pausing. Right on her. Not with surprise. Not with pity. Just recognition, like he saw something the rest of the world missed. Amara froze. Her breath caught. She felt that familiar panic rising. Please don't look at me. Please don't see me. Please just move on. But for the first time in her life, someone didn't move on. Elias took a few steps forward on the stage and spoke in that steady voice that carried without him raising it. You, he said softly. In the third row. The whole room turned. Amara wanted to melt into the chair. He gestured gently. Can I tell you something? She blinked. Me? Yes, he said with a warm smile. You. You could hear a pin drop. Amara's heart hammered against her ribs. When I was your age, Elias began, I used to cover my face, too. He touched his jawline. Students leaned closer. I had a scar here. Bad one. Kids were cruel about it. Every time someone looked at me, I felt like they were only seeing the worst part of me. Amara's chest tightened. It felt like he was talking directly to her soul. And then someone older, someone wiser, told me something that flipped my entire life. He paused. Let the silence settle. They said, your face is not a flaw, it's a biography. And not everybody has the courage to wear their story where the world can see it. He pointed gently toward her, not sharply, not aggressively. You look like someone with a story worth telling. And right there, right in that crowded room, something shifted inside Amara. Not a miracle, not an explosion, more like a tremor, a tiny crack in the wall she'd built her whole life. For the first time, she lifted her head. For the first time, she didn't fix her hair to hide her cheek. For the first time, she met someone's gaze without flinching. And Elias nodded, as if he'd been waiting for that exact moment. When the assembly ended, everyone rushed the stage. Kids snapped selfies, asked for autographs, begged for attention. Amara tried to slip out quietly, heart still racing. But before she made it to the door, she heard, "Hold up, storyteller." She turned. Elias stood behind her, hands in his pockets, smiling like they'd known each other for years. "I wanted to check on you," he said. She swallowed. "Why?" "Because you lifted your head today," he replied. "And that's bigger than you think." She didn't know what to say. Nobody had ever noticed that tiny victory before. Elias continued, "Have you ever considered public speaking? Or poetry? Or storytelling?" She almost laughed. "Me? I can barely talk in class." "That's exactly why you should," he said simply. "Voices like yours change people." She hesitated. "Because of my birthmark?" He shook his head. "No, because you carry yourself like someone who sees the world deeper than everyone else." No one had ever said that to her. Not once. Amara felt her eyes sting, not from sadness, but from something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. Before leaving, Elias handed her a card. "My foundation runs a youth leadership and confidence program. I think you'd be a perfect fit. If you're willing, I'd love to sponsor you personally." Amara stared down at the card like it was a golden ticket. "But what if I'm not brave enough?" she whispered. He smiled. "Then borrow my belief until yours grows." And that single line lived rent-free in her heart from that day forward. Over the next months, Amara attended the program. The first day, she spoke so quietly the microphone barely caught her voice. The second week, she read a paragraph. The third month, she shared a story about covering her face in 6th grade. By the 6th month, she walked onto a stage packed with parents, teachers, and community leaders. She stepped into the light. She let her hair fall back. She spoke her truth clearly, confidently, boldly, telling the world what it felt like to hide and what it meant to finally stop. And in the front row, Elias King sat with the proudest smile, like he always knew this girl was built for greatness. Amara didn't just find her voice. She found herself. And the birthmark? The same mark she spent years trying to erase. Kids at school started calling it the signature. Teachers said it made her look powerful, artistic, unique. People leaned in when she spoke. People listened. Because it wasn't a flaw. It was her story, her beginning. The part of her face that the world once judged became the part people admired most. And years later, when she became a speaker, an author, an advocate for girls who felt different, she always repeated the same line Elias told her. "Borrow someone's belief until yours grows." Black Visionaries family. If you're carrying something you think makes you less, maybe it's actually the thing that makes you unforgettable. Maybe it's your signature. Maybe it's your power. Remember Amara. And remember this. Sometimes all it takes is one voice to change your reflection. If this story touched your heart, go ahead and hit like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that what people call different might just be destiny in disguise.